Well, the one thing about that, I don't think anybody's disputing that we would really like to have the academic specialists,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
think
Absolutely.
that we're saying that the other needs are more pressing. But I'd also like to think about kind of akin to the work sessions that we had a couple of years ago now on middle school ELA, right, where we had recognized in the
Absolutely.
PARCC results that we had an issue with middle school ELA, and once some folks really dug down into that, and they found, well, it was the writing component, and then we started focusing on the TDCRs, and that really seemed to help a lot. That it seems like, our PARCC results aren't, or, our test scores and our academic achievement aren't where we want them to be, certainly at the elementary level. Is there some sort of exercise like that, like a focused resource to get in, short of doing, 18 academic specialists? Is there a way to
Interventions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
Right.
Ms. McCabe and I have been, since the day we started together in July 1, we've been talking about the need to really look at our type of intervention process that we have in place here, whether, and we spoke a little bit at the delegation meeting about this, and the state is now moving also to making sure that we're screening our students at kindergarten, making sure that we're providing adequate intervention, whether that be evidence-based or research-based types of interventions, and then really looking at the efficacy of the actual instructional program to make sure that students are growing. And so since we've started that work, there's a collaboration taking place between our special education department as well as our reading department as well as our accountability office now to go ahead and look at what it is that we're doing presently all around the county, really looking at our IST process, essentially a collaborative process at buildings, looking at what kind of data do we have available, which can be found now in our dashboard, to look at what kind of growth is taking place in which areas so we can identify which schools are having the most success, and then look at their model, steal shamelessly, put other models in other buildings, and then start to use potential resources in the future to go ahead and continue to emulate the models that are working. And that is a true RTI model, which is where we're trying to get to, the idea that we can exhaust interventions prior to even going to qualification for special education. Not that we're over-identifying, that's not what I'm saying, but what I am saying is that as we all work together and have such positions as our specialists to be able to provide a consistent evidence-based instructional program, then we will naturally begin to see overall academic achievement increase, but potentially we also could be meeting the needs of students without going to an identification process, potentially. So that those positions would have huge impact on how we do business also.
The other thing that we've been doing with elementary ELA is analyzing not only the data in our PARCC results, but the data that comes in our countywide benchmarks assessments. And one of the things that we've been able to identify, just like middle school, is writing at the elementary level. And when you look at our scores, a lot of where the students struggle is in putting their thoughts in writing when it comes to comprehension. And so that has been a big focus for us starting this school year. So we're hoping that that will have an impact on our results as well.
I definitely advocate heavily for stealing shamelessly from the schools that are doing well, right? Like, so if we really start looking at which schools are doing the best and how do we leverage that into other schools, I'm really glad to hear all of that. So.